Water missing a few pieces of the cowling, but it's out there on the inside. Getting ready for the start.
Looks like J. Michael Kelly's going to lead him to the line. He does, with a pretty good speed right behind him with the Albert Lee is Brian Perkins.
It's a good start. All boats are legal. You can see the bungee cord holding the cowling on to the 88. That bungee cord right behind the cockpit. Remember, this boat damaged last time out, but back on the water now. On the rear wing of Brian Perkins in the Albert Lee. Wow.
Oh, Bill, this is where we were talking about, those waves coming back from the log boom.
It's just almost like driving over railroad tracks at times, it seems like.
It is. It's one of the rare courses where the water comes back parallel to the race course instead of straight on.
Boy, this is a race where two drivers can really taste the victory. Both these teams have worked really hard and not much to show for it so far. But Brian says his team can finally see the light at the end of the tunnel.
We keep improving on the boat. The boat keeps getting better and better and better. We're still making changes. We're trying some other skid fins. We've got 3 here to try. So we just keep working.
And you know the Degree men have been working just as hard. That's a brand new boat. A lot of things to work out when you have a new machine.
No doubt, Bill. It's going to take these guys a while to dial this thing in. It's not where they want it to be. But again, it was a brand new boat at the very first race of the year. A lot of new technology, and it's going to take some time to iron it out.
The Albert Lee of Brian Perkins. There's Mike Kelly. Hey, congratulations to Mike and his new bride, Angela. They got married at the Seattle Yacht Club just before the Tri-Cities race. So congratulations to them. We wish them all the best.
Leave it to a racer to get married on the water. Look at this battle here, Bill. This is excellent.
This is for the lead. Perkins on the right. Mike Kelly on the left, a little deeper in the field. Kip Brown in the 17, the missed red dot. And Greg Hopp, this is the battle for third.
Really important that Kip gets by as many boats as he can here so he can make it into that final.
He's really trying to make up for flaming out before the start, right?
He is. Doing everything he can. He needs every single point.
Greg Hopp with a boat that is fast on the straightaways but does not like to turn.
Boy, Kip's got to bring that thing in a little bit closer if he's looking to make some ground up. He's taking a long way around.
Brian Perkins really flying that boat. Headed for turn 2.
Yeah, flying's the word here, Bill. I'm not sure if Brian knows just how close he is to the Boeing plant.
He knows how close he is to the finish line. These boats averaging over 135 miles an hour as they come to the checkered flag. J. Michael Kelly on the inside. Brian Perkins on the outside for the win and 400 points. It's Brian Perkins in the Albert Lee. What an upset. Tremendous run. J. Michael Kelly had the fastest lap at 138.129 miles per hour. But a win for Brian Perkins. The Bernards, Jeff and Christabel, getting ready for their next heat. When we come back to Lake Washington, we'll meet them.
Play. Go to VulcanPaintball.com.
Formula Powerboats, born of innovation and superb design, executed to deliver the ride, performance, and amenities you expect. Formula Sun Sports and Super Sports define day boating adventure. Formula Yachts and Performance Cruisers, striking and luxurious. And Fast Tech Hull technology powers you to big water high performance. For a world-class boating experience, contact your Formula dealer or visit formulaboats.com today.
Get the whole story with NBC Sports Talk. Mondays and Fridays, join our NFL analysts.
He's in the right place at the right time, the slot receiver for the greatest quarterback in the history of the game.
Tuesday through Thursday, we'll take you deeper inside all the breaking stories. NBC Sports Talk on Versus.
If you're living with diabetes and have Medicare or private insurance, here is some great news. Call United States Medical Supply today, and we'll send you the smallest glucose meter in the world, absolutely free.
It only takes a speck of blood, and it gives me my results in 5 seconds.
And there's no coding for easier, more accurate results.
Don't let diabetes get in the way of living. Give us a call today at United States Medical Supply and get the smallest meter in the world for free.
Believe it or not, This is a catheter. It's the new SpeedyCath Compact for women. Now available from Liberator Medical with full Medicare and private insurance reimbursement. Get your catheters from a company that really cares about you and your health. Call Liberator Medical. Get your free SpeedyCath Compact. Sample 6-pack. Shipping is free.
1-800-662-9981. 1-800-662-9981.
Get the home phone service that revolves around you, only with Xfinity from Comcast. With Xfinity Voice, you'll enjoy the best call clarity, and you'll save with unlimited nationwide calling, so you can stay connected from coast to coast. You'll also get caller ID blocking, call waiting, and caller ID so you always know who's calling. Get Xfinity Voice today for just $19.99 a month for 12 months. It's easy to switch, and you can even keep your current number. And it's all backed by our 30-day money-back guarantee. Bring home the phone service that revolves around you. Call 1-800-XFINITY today.
There's the damage to the boat of Ken Muscatel. He's disappointed, but Brian Perkins is happy.
Brian, that was a great heat win. The Green Machine's on a roll.
It is, man. It's incredible. Dale and the guys on the Albert Lee boat have really put an awesome race boat together. We finally have a race boat, and everything's coming together, so we can't be more proud.
It looks like you got some pretty good shoot speed. It's going through the corners well. Looks like it's handling well. I think you're ready for the final.
I hope so. Hopefully we got enough points to get there. We did the best we could after yesterday with that big 0-point disqualification. So we're hoping, the fingers are crossed. We'll see what everybody else tallies up, and hopefully we're there.
Jeff Bernard heading out on the course, 3 career wins, but his biggest win came last December when he married his wife, Christabel. Let's meet them. Here's Lindsay Guthrie.
Growing up around racing boats helped bring Christabel and Jeff Bernard together nearly a decade ago.
I grew up in racing, but Jeff was on the East Coast, I was on the West Coast, and we met at a Seafair party with all the crews 9 years ago, and we've been together ever since. I'm here for Jeff, so I don't really have a job, an actual specific job on the team, but I'm here to support Jeff. I cannot imagine not being at a race.
She's mad when she misses a race. She doesn't miss any of the unlimited races, but the inboard races, she misses some of them, and she's more mad about it than anybody that she missed it. It's nice getting out of the boat and having her on the dock. That helped me out.
I love it when he's out there, but I am nervous too. He's my life. Like, that's my life out there. You're a nervous wreck because if you don't know, anything can happen at any time. I mean, they have all these devices and, you know, there's so much safety here, but you never know. You never know.
When I go to races by myself, which I do that a lot with the smaller stuff, I'm constantly on the phone giving updates. I feel like I'm not even focusing on the race boat side because I have to call half my family.
We're all family. So, I mean, some of us are actual family, but even the boat race, it's extended family. So we get to hang out with all of our friends and have a good time. You know, of course, we're all rooting for our husbands, but at the end of the day, we can all give each other a hug, and we're fortunate enough to be able to hang out with each other almost every weekend in the summer.
And now it's time for Heat 3B, and you see the lineup, and it includes Steve David and Dave Villwock. Another rematch of the top 2 drivers in the sport. On board with Steve David, and that just flamed out.
Here we go again, Bill. The park and start strikes again. Steve not a big fan of this type of racing. He is for fighting for lanes. Doing everything again to get it pulled back up, get going again, but he's going to be dealt with whatever's left on the race course.
You can see on the Peters and May countdown clock, we're under a minute before the start, and he's going to have a huge handicap. Look at him get up to speed in a hurry. Wow.
Long way to go here. I'm not sure he's going to be able to hit the line with these guys.
The field moving down the backstretch, heading for turn 2. There's Jeff Bernard on board with the GoPro camera. That's the Graham Trucking Ride, number 5. He's got the inside lane.
Don't know what they left for Steve, but they had to make their commitment to these lanes prior to that turn. So it's really going to be whatever these guys left for Steve to come in.
Looks like he's going to get lane 3 because we know Mark Evans likes that outside lane. Green flag in the air. Christabel watching from the dock.
Come on, Jeff.
It's a good start. All boats are legal. Jeff Bernard has the inside lane in the 5 Graham Trucking. But he's going to really have to work to hold off Dave Villwock.
Yeah, Jeff at this point, Bill's going to have to use every ounce of the race course there is because he's got Super Dave on his outside.
Villock taking the lead. Jeff trying to stay on his hip, wants to force him a little wide.
Steve David doing all he can to make up for that flame out. Going to be tough getting back to the front. I don't think he's going to be able to make his way up in these few laps. Both guys walking the sponsons down the straightaway.
Well, you can just feel the intensity on shore. Jeff trying to hang on to that inside lane, but if Villock gets 7 boat links on him, he can't move over.
I think he's actually got 7. He's being a nice guy on this particular run, taking it easy on Jeff and not making the water too rough for him on the inside.
And you see these boats bounce down the backstretch. There you see the log boom, those boats all lined up.
That's a boat ride there, Bill. Whoa! That's the only downside to having a whole lot of wing and compressing that air underneath the hull. There's very little bit of time for recovery.
It's not like putting the brakes on in your car.
A little different.
Cristobal watches.
Huge lead here by Dave. Guys on shore, radio crew telling him just hang tight where you are, take this wind, and let's get to the final and do what needs to be done there.
Jeff Bernard runs in second. Steve David runs in third. David really trying to make up positions after flaming out before the start.
Yeah, that's frustrating, Bill, knowing you've got a boat that's capable of running first and second, having to make up all this ground.
Jeff Bernard, his crew chief is Tom Anderson. Wife and crew watch from the pits. Bernard already has a second earlier today. Looks like he's going to grab another 300 points right here. But Dave Villock's going to get the checkered flag and 400 points. And Villock looks like the guy to beat in the final here in Seattle. Second place for Jeff Bernard. Jeff's average speed just under 135 miles an hour. Dave Villock averaged over 141. In fact, Villock on lap number 1, 144.224 miles an hour on this 2-mile course. More excitement and the final ahead from Seattle.
In a moment, a person's world can be turned upside down. These are the times when you can deliver one of life's most important gifts, hope. These are the times we prepare for as health professionals in the Air Guard. So explore our website or talk to a recruiter today and discover the challenge, adventure, and excitement of serving your community and country in the Air Guard.
It's our weekend. Should we spend it wandering in some home improvement warehouse? No. Say we go to Ace. Yeah. Get help when we walk in the door. Because we will maintain our homes and our weekend. Yeah.
Get your weekend back at Ace, the helpful place.
Capital One's new Cash Rewards card gives you a 50% annual bonus, so you earn 50% more cash. According to research, everybody likes more cash. Well, almost everybody. Would you like 50% more cash? No. But it's more money.
The new Capital One Cash Rewards card. The card for people who want 50% more cash.
What's in your wallet? Whoa!
New Southern Comfort Fiery Pepper is 2 things. Southern Comfort and Tabasco. 2 great tasting Louisiana classics. Heat never tasted so good.
In his 13th season, the lightning-fast Martin St. Louis is still among hockey's elite.
What an effort by St. Louis to win it!
Hot on his tail is 22-year-old flyer James Van Riemsdyk, one of the game's rising young stars. What will shine brighter?
St. Louis scores!
Twilight of St. Louis or the dawn of JVR?
Van Riemsdyk his second of the game!
Wednesday night hockey. Flyers, Lightning. Coverage begins at 6:30 on Versus.
Coverage of the 2011 Air National Guard Hydroplane Series is brought to you by Air National Guard. Visit goang.com to learn more about exciting opportunities in your area. Valken Sports. Get out and play paintball. Check ValkenPaintball.com for a field near you. And by Peters & May. For professional management of your worldwide boat transport and logistics, remember Peters & May.
These fans have just found out Steve David was disqualified in Heat 3B. There's a computer chip on each boat. The sanctioning body looks at it after each heat. Steve David violated the fuel flow maintenance.
It's very hard to explain, Bill, but basically Steve David did that while he was trying to get the boat back on plane after it flamed out, and he exceeded the limits.
Kind of like spinning your wheels in a car.
Pretty much.
Now, the 96 team, they worked on this for hours. Mike, they replaced the strut at the rear of the boat.
Yeah, that's an amazing change. I mean, that's the most crucial point of this whole boat. You can see him sitting here with a makeshift box and a heat gun trying to get that glue to set up.
Wow, that's a lot of work, but crew chief Eric Elstrom made that call. They thought it might live through the final, but they decided not to take the chance. That's a gutsy call. Now time for the final. You see the boats slowly moving in their lanes. Here's Brian Perkins. He's in the final. That's the Albert Lee. But this is what happened to his sister Kaylee earlier in her unlimited light machine. A blowover in their final. Kaylee was okay, and she wanted to thank all the rescue and safety workers here at Seafair. It's a 7-boat final. And this is, you're really going to see some intense jockeying for position, I think, right here, because these boats are really going slow. But Steve David's really picking up the pace. He's going to leapfrog some of these guys.
This is where the chess match starts right here, and Steve David's pulling it off right now. Hadn't showed his hand all day, but here he comes in the final doing the leapfrog.
Needs 5 boat links before he can move over on Brian Perkins. He's got it.
He's got it.
And now he's going to have to slow way down, though. He's going to be way early.
Wow, those guys were probably close. Whoa, hoo-hoo.
This is close.
Well, if there's no hole, Bill, you make one.
Now you see Jeff Bernard trying to go past David. There's Perkins on board now with Dave Philwalk. The GoPro onboard camera's giving you a good look at what's going on the water.
These guys are all slowing down, Bill, because they came up so hard and so early that they would be early for their time and run.
That's on board with J. Michael Kelly, the Degree Men 88 boat. They are really tight out there. Look at that.
No, not a lot of room here.
Steve David leapfrogged everybody. A fantastic move. Got the inside lane. Peterson May countdown clock is at 0.
Look who it is on the outside again. Mark Evans with a full steam of speed.
But watch Steve David on the inside. Right on the buoy line.
Not giving up any more than he has to because he's got a number of boats to his outside.
Brian Perkins lost his lane.
Not by choice, Bill. He went out a couple of lanes because he had to.
7 boats out there, but everybody watching the Oh Boy Oberto and the Spirit of Qatar. Steve David on the inside, Philwalk on the outside. Lane 1 and lane 3. On board here with J. Michael Kelly. He's battling Jeff Bernard for position.
Are you kidding me?
Kelly gets the position. Now back up front, a 3-boat race for the lead.
I'm not sure if Scott Liddycote has picked up the pace or if Dave Philwalk's actually fallen behind.
One thing we do know, this boat of Steve David is giving him a really good ride. And we talked to his crew chief, Mike Hansen, earlier in the weekend. He said they were really working on the airflow under and over that boat.
Yeah, they're trying everything they can to make this thing faster. But don't forget what Mike said at the end. He said, we got a special prop at the end for this race.
Yeah, he smiled. He said, I think we got a little something special for him in this one. There's Philwalk, and he's doing a good job of holding his own, trying to chase down Steve David.
Yeah, again, I don't see Steve David running away with this right now. The first 2 boats seem to be holding their position, but Dave seems to be off the pace.
One thing the Oberto team is working on is they're looking for more acceleration through the turns and then off the turns, and they think that will help give Steve a better boat ride. Wow, walking that thing.
Right now, I think they need some more weight in the front of the boat to keep it on the water. Holy cow.
There you see the lead he has from the Whispering Turbine Skycam.
So at this point, he has more than the overlap to go in and take lane 1. But again, he's probably playing it safe. Just in case it wants to hook on him, he's got time to recover.
Philwalk looking to drift over a little bit. Watch on his left. You're going to see Scott Liddycote come charging up on the inside. And Liddycote moves to second. That's the kid that got a second-place finish in the Gold Cup in Detroit in just his second unlimited race. Oh, my.
Woo. Talking about airing it out, Bill. The Boy Oberto group wants to win this one bad.
And you can see Steve David did move over, so Scott Liddicoat looks like he's in lane 2 now, and Phil Walk in lane 3.
Yeah, at that point, being in second place, you just want to get clean water and stay out of that prop wash from Steve David.
I'll tell you how rough it is out there. Average speed so far for Steve David, just over 136 miles per hour. Still, that's pretty fast when you're racing on Lake Washington.
It is pretty fast, and I tell you, after a heat win like this, it won't matter how fast your average speed was. They'll be happy with the win.
There's the damage to Green Men boat. J. Michael Kelly. That boat bouncing around in rough water. He's got the mask on, the Hans device, a little oxygen in there too.
Yes, definitely got a little bit of oxygen. Only needed if you go upside down.
Liddicoat, Falcon.com, second. Chasing this man, 57-year-old Steve David, looking for his second win of the season and the 14th of his career.
And you know Steve David is listening close because the guys on shore telling him exactly how far out he is over Scott Liddicoat.
There you see the margin. Drivers working the final lap. Looking at the computer, the fastest lap so far, lap 3, Scott Liddicoat, 142.749 miles per hour, and that's how he was able to get around Dave Villwock.
Boy, Dave Villwock getting his money's worth this weekend. He's used every ounce of this race course trying to make up some ground. Steve David out front as far as he is, you start hearing all kind of gremlins. Bill, oh!
How big was that?
That was too big, Bill, but I tell you what, on the inside, you're going so fast, it happens so quick, you don't realize you were that high.
How about when you watch the replay?
Then you get scared.
Steve David had a tough weekend in Tri-Cities, was disqualified in Heat 3B, but the final's going to be a big one for the Oh Boy Oberto team. They're going to win in their hometown of Seattle. Congratulations to the Oberto family. Scott Liddicoat, the second place finish of his career, and Dave Villwock comes home third. And they celebrate that second place finish on the 7 docks. Kim's Scott's #1 cheerleader. Steve David, the victory on Lake Washington in Seattle, and man, did he earn it. He got the win in Madison, but it wasn't pretty. Final heat, Dave Villwock out front. Villwock hooks the boat. Nowhere to go for Steve David. Up and over. But David credited with the win, but missed the next week because all that damage could not be repaired in time. They brought a backup boat to Detroit. They used John Zimmerman in relief of Steve, who had rib injuries and could not compete. Then Tri-Cities last week. A disappointing weekend for this team. Steve jumped a timing mark in one heat, was penalized in another, and then lost to Dave Villwock in the final. But Steve was ready for Seattle. The team worked on the airflow. They held onto their best propeller for the final, and Steve takes them to the podium with a win. Here's Mike.
Steve, it doesn't get much better than that, and what a great move on the leapfrog on these guys at the start.
You know, they wanted this wacky start stuff, and I guess they thought they'd have an advantage, but old age and treachery.
You know, I saw it coming. I saw the 3 boats up there early. You were second back, and all of a sudden, the timing was there. There's no way they can catch up from spooling over.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I had that kind of in the back pocket all day, but I didn't want to show it, so we tried a couple of other things to find out what would work and what wouldn't work, so the Hail Mary was safe for the final.
Great boat ride after that. She got a little bit rough, but nothing you couldn't handle. It didn't look like you had to use a wing a whole lot.
No, the team really worked with me all week and really getting ready for this final, getting the boat set up where I could just let her run, grow legs, and fly it.
Boy, they did a tremendous job. Steve David gets 400 points and the win, and an impressive second-place finish for Scott Liddicoat. Here's Mike Allen.
Scott, rookie this year. This is your first final in Seattle. How was the water?
Oh, rough, yeah. I'm done. I don't even know. I mean, I got out of the boat and I was like, oh, yeah, that was a rough heat.
Take a look at the driver high point standings. Dave Villwock continues to lead. His team also leads the team high point standings. Bernard, Liddicoat, David, and Kip Brown, your top 5. At the Air National Guard stage, Art Oberto and his team celebrate with the win in Seattle. Second win of the year for Steve David. Pretty impressive.
Yes, very impressive. Those guys did some dialing in after their loss last weekend. They came here fired up. Mike Hansen delivered this weekend.
And I got 2 words for you. San Diego.
San Diego. Can't wait.
For Mike Allen, Steve Montgomery, and Lindsey Guthrie, I'm Bill Weber. Thanks for having us in for the race, and so long from Seattle.